Hi everyone, I'm Cassidy Ottoman and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Nebraska's Britt Prince advanced to the list of 10 midseason candidates for the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year Award presented by the WBCA and announced by the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame on Monday, February 2nd. Prince, a 5'11 sophomore, leads the Huskers with 18.1 points and 4.4 assists per game this season. Nebraska women's basketball signee Ashley Copel earned one of 24 roster spots for the McDonald's High School All-American game ahead of the NCAA Women's Final Four in Phoenix. The final rosters for the McDonald's Boys and Girls All-American games were announced on Monday, February 2nd. In other Husker news, the Nebraska women's tennis team closed out its busy weekend with 2 victories over North Dakota and Kansas City on Sunday, February 1st at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. The Big Red did not drop a single match to the Fighting Hawks or the Roos. Finally, Sunday's top 10 men's basketball matchup between number 5 Nebraska and number 9 Illinois drew the largest viewership ever for a college basketball game on FS1 with 1.37 million people tuning in. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Fed left, Lipscomb for the lead. Roll shot, block back covered. Joust at the net. Nebraska owns it. 8-7 Big Red in the third. Back row, T. Sigler. Kaboom! It's in. That's a back row weapon, the great freshman. It's 9-7 Nebraska.
Ball fake on Finnegan, spins around, flips it back out top. Kennedy Williams. Shot clock at 11, game clock at 37. Kennedy will step into a 3, top of the key, banked it in! You betcha! A CVA banker for the freshman.
Full count, 1 out. The pitch from LaRue. Change up, Cusack swings and lifts this one. Left center and deep. Cullivan back to the wall. It's good! It's good! 2-0 Nebraska! Ball and Cusack both lead the yard in the first.
Now, here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome into a very special edition of Sports Nightly, as tonight is our celebration of National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Every year it's a day that across the country we celebrate the achievements of women in sports, of athletes, coaches, and leaders, celebrating how far we've come, but also to inspire the next generation to keep playing sports and to strive for even more. I've said this many times, but here at Nebraska, we are so fortunate to have a fan base that shows up, that supports, that listens, and cares about our women's sports, and sports that are pretty dang good, mind you. Currently, we have 3 women's programs that are ranked in the top 10 nationally: Husker Rifle, Husker Bowling, and Husker Softball, as they kick off their season coming up this Friday. Track and field is currently ranked 14th in the nation, and women's basketball, well, they've been in and around the top 25 essentially all season. And some of the best in their individual sports wear the N. Jordy Fromm is the best player in college softball. I don't think there's much of an argument there. Jillian Martin is the reigning NTCA Bowler of the Year, essentially the Heisman of college bowling. Axelina Johansson is a 2-time national champion and Olympian for Husker track and field. Britt Prince, as Cassidy had in the ticker, was just named to the midseason list of top 10 for the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year Award. And Husker Volleyball, well, as we know, it would take the rest of this show to list all of the accolades there. But how about 3 first-team All-Americans that will be returning in 2026 to no doubt, once again, a favorite for a national championship team. And what makes all of this even greater is that Husker Nation appreciates all of this, showing up year in and year out, breaking attendance and TV viewership records 4 years running, top 2 in the country in women's sports attendance. I'm also thankful to work for a network and with coworkers who champion me doing a show like we have here tonight. And we have a star-studded lineup here coming up for you over the next couple of hours. Ryan Hunter and Terea Sigler of Husker Volleyball. We have Ava Kuzak of Husker Softball. Kennedy Williams, the two-sport athlete of Husker Hoops and Softball. Arden Lockheim of Husker Golf, but also a rising star in sports broadcasting. But up next, we kick things off with Dr. Susan Elza, a longtime leader in athletics, but a key member of Matt Rule's staff for Husker football. So it's going to be a fun night here on our National Girls and Women in Sports Day, Sports Nightly, which is powered by Emeritus. And we're going to go ahead and work in our first break here so we have plenty of time to get to all of our special guests. Keep it here.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local Trusted Choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted Choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same: a wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole: Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
deer weekend. Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to a very special edition of Sports Nightly as we celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day, which is coming up tomorrow. I'm Jessica Coody, and our first guest tonight is a favorite of mine. Dr. Susan Elza is the Assistant AD of Football Administration. She's in her fourth season here as a part of Matt Rule's leadership team, but is a longtime administrator, coach, teacher, and even before all of that, she was an athlete herself. I love talking with her on game days and out at practices, and let me tell you, she knows ball. I had a long, lengthy conversation with her and wanted to bring you a part of that here tonight. So when we had you on right when you first got here, and I think you're still trying to figure out what all the duties entailed with your position, how did it, I guess, how has it felt like your job has evolved, and how do you feel like you've grown, I guess, in what your role is in the last couple of years?
Okay. Wow, that's a big one. You know, I think, you know, the biggest transition for me was, you know, I was in a state leadership role in Texas, and, you know, I had to, it's not that you ever, you know, changing jobs is not about being the loudest voice in the room, but it is about having the most impact. And you, no matter what, when you change any job, I don't care what it is, even if I changed here, you're going to have to kind of re-earn who you are. And there's two things that people can never take from you. It's your knowledge and your standards. And, you know, I knew I needed to get in here and learn. I didn't need to be the person that was just speaking because I held some other really high title and come in here and act like I knew everything about everything, because I was surrounded by so many people that had been in college athletics the entire time. And so, you know, I have tried to, you know, just get into a role and be, you know, completely comfortable with being behind the scenes. But making sure that what I do on a daily basis in this job is to have impact. And, you know, for me, impact is, you know, pushing everybody to be at the very same level, to understand their role is to make players better, And I think I've learned a lot. You know, the good thing is, the good and the bad, okay? College football changed a lot while we were here.
Yeah, yeah.
And so where I was behind, all of a sudden I caught up, you know, because I could clearly see that everybody was going through the same change, and that the knowledge levels, you know, had somewhat equalized if you were new to college football. Most people weren't. The football part I'm not new to, the recruiting and all that stuff. So then you hop into the rev share and the NIL and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I think coaches made some really strong moves with the way, you know, that he hired Pat, and, you know, and kind of let Pat revamp the recruiting staff just to get the standard to where, you know, you're still recruiting the high school athlete, but you've always got your eyes on, you know, what is out there in college football. And, you know, on my end of it, I'm not daily in that. I'm daily in the conversation, but I don't have like all these roles in it. And I think to myself, what can I do? And you support. That's what you do. You make sure that staff has everything they need to line everything up. And, you know, because it is so vast and so, you know, it's an everyday job, even though you're not recruiting every single day, a college athlete. You're just waiting to see who goes in the portal like everybody else. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. You can tell I'm just kind of unconsciously unwinding here, but that probably, in terms of the job itself, I tried to just get where I was needed, and it seems to have worked. I'm always, a person that wants to try to push people to be at the top of their game and understand, their value to this program and how it connects to our goals, to be in the CFP, to win the national championship. And I think, I hope I have I know I have a great amount of synergy with Coach Rule, and I believe I have a great amount of synergy with our staff, that they understand, that there's not anything that I'm trying to maybe criticize them for. I just want them to be the most elite person in the role that they hold. I don't care, what role it is, whether it's operations or whether it's player development, or whether it's an athletic trainer, we all impact the winning on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like every time I talk to you, you're kind of involved in something that is not really football related, whether it be helping Luke Lindenmeyer get engaged.
There you go.
The painted shoes at Minnesota, which is really neat. How much do you enjoy that kind of part of it too? Because you talk about it, it's all part of the grand scheme of things and making sure that experience is elite, right?
Sure. I like that question. Coaches, and this to me lets me try to just reflect on what people may or may not know, but coaches, he's a huge visionary. And, some people, and I felt like I was really pretty good at this whenever I was, in a leadership role where I was leading an entire program. And because I always wanted to add more and more and more, and people were like, oh my gosh. And I loved that. And so where he's a huge idea guy, he may roll something out and think, maybe I'm not going to grab it and go, but I'm going to grab it and go. And because it represents, our ability to do things outside the box and do all these different things. So I love anything that he tasked me with, and whether it's the 7-on-7, and the Adidas camp that we host, whether it's the the senior dinner that he'll have coming up, in March, whatever it is, I want to be able to roll it out very quickly. Bud Crawford coming and leading us out the tunnel. I mean, he just throws it, and I'm like, he didn't think I could get this done, and then you do it, and it vaults your program, just the marketing of it and all the things that go with it. Luke, that was probably not a Coach Rule thing as much as it was just Luke saying, hey, Dr. Elza, I got a favor, and I'm like, okay. And I wasn't sure what it was. And then he's like, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend. And, I was like, okay, who knows about this? I didn't want anybody to know, I wanted it to be such a big surprise for her. Mm-hmm. And that was so much fun. He put me in a group text with her family and his family. I didn't know even who was on there. And I'm like, all right, y'all, we're going to make this elite. I'm using that word a lot today, but it truly, that's who our program is. And so I'm texting them for months leading up to it, and it just, what a special occasion, what a special moment. And he texted me the other day. He's like, I'd like to officially invite you to our wedding this summer since you made it happen. I was like, bro, I'm there.
That's going to be the cool part of it. When you talk about, you want to win football games, but it's a lot more than that. And, coming from the coaching background,
sure,
it is more than that.
It is. I mean, I still talk to, my former players to this day. And, a couple of them, they were like, Coach Elza, I mean, that's what I'm used to being called, not Dr. Elza. It's still very strange when I hear it, but Coach Elza, we're going to come watch you in Nebraska. I'm like, come on, and they had a couple of my players had planned to come, and then they ended up following through. But, I stay in touch with them. It never changes. It won't change for me with these players here. And, where I'm not in a coach role, you're still building those same relationships and those same memories, and they're having, you're trying to have an impact on them, but let's just be real, they're truly having an impact on us. And you're so, so proud to be a part of something that, because if there's one thing that I think we do a great job of emphasizing, Coach does, is, we're here to make them better men. I mean, number one, let's go. Everything else will fall into place. And to be a part of that, it's just fun, and that moment with Luke and his fiance, it was, I just, that's what it's all about.
I think so. I find it interesting too. You're good at delegating, right? So you identify who can help you execute this, right? You can't take it all on yourself, which some people like me, sometimes I want to do everything myself. So how do you go about identifying who can help you execute these grand plans?
So, honestly, you're carrying out the mission of the head coach every day, but he's pulled in so many different directions that, the grand plans are just your daily, your daily life, honestly, within this football program. And so it's very programmed, in terms of like what Corey's going to do, what your coaches are going to do, what your athletic medicine, the expectations of going in and getting treatment or rehab or whatever it may be, the way they eat, the way they weigh in, the way they get hydrated, hydration testing, their body composition. I just could go. And so then you flip over and then you've got Gus, in player development, which he, has 2 or 3 community service activities a week for these players to be a part of. And then, you flip over to your operations staff that, is truly in charge of making sure that point A and point B line up and they go. But I have loved the leadership within this program. You have a lot of different department heads, and I think sometimes the unsung hero is the operations folks. They're the ones that are really, truly not visible and people aren't going to know their name. Brandon Steid asked me to pick up a speaking engagement the other day where you were talking to people that worked for this company that were behind the scenes, that like everything they did, nobody knew who they were. And, I think there's so much value in that, not because maybe I'm a little bit more behind the scenes here, but once I got in here, you really saw that the people that maybe are doing the lion's share of the work are maybe not going to get their name broadcasted or mentioned at a press conference or ever going to get to be in an interview. And I had done a PowerPoint, which I rarely do those, but sometimes you have to do it just to emphasize a point. So I threw a picture up there and I said, "Who's that?" Matt Rule. Now I threw another picture up there. "Who's that?" Coach Holgerson. Then I threw another picture up there. "Who's that?" It was Rob Orich. They didn't know his name for sure, but he just got here. So but then I put up Corey, and just a lot of visibility within our program, obviously in those roles. So then I flipped over, and I even though she's out there quite a bit because I think Coach does a great job of just celebrating our staff. I put Kristen's picture up there, and I was like, "Who's that?" And they then I was like, I put Gus up there, and then I put Thomas Bowling up there, he's our director of operations. Didn't know who he was, and that's how I tied it together. And I explained, this is the guys that get probably all the visibility, but these guys are really truly pulling everything together behind the scenes. And I had a few other pictures up there, but I just, I really think that, I started to say this a minute ago, the leadership of this staff and the way that the standard that Coach puts in place for us is it doesn't even have to be a standard because these people are just great leaders on their own. And what Coach does, he surrounds himself with really strong leaders that have obviously the complete buy-in to his vision for this program. And then, but the beauty comes in how we work together, because there's so many dynamics with people wanting to get credit, people wanting to be in the spotlight, to be all that. And we truly have this I kind of sound Pollyanna-ish, but honestly, we truly have this, devotion to the main thing, which again is the players and our role in making them, the best men that they can possibly be, plus the best football players. And it's so fun. I learn from them every day. I know I'm one of the old gray hairs on the staff, and I don't mind that, because I think I do bring a wisdom, from my other leadership roles that I think can help them grow as leaders. But they equally give back to me on, just insight and perspective that sometimes maybe I don't have. But there's no ego there. We're not trying to compete with each other. We're just trying to be great.
Yeah. It's just the balance of understanding where people fit their roles and embracing your roles. That's what make the great teams.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, you try to project that to the team, and I think they see it with us. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt they see that we're all one big happy family when it comes right down to it. So happy as a family can be, right?
It depends on the day, right?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so when I go out to practice, you're locked in. Your coach, as we talked about, you like watching. What's your favorite when you're out at practice, what are you locked in on? Like, I want to watch this.
I like to watch the warm up. I want to see where the juice is coming, that day. I really, if there's, you would think I've evaluated players, for so long. Before I was state AD, I was an AD in schools where we were trying to develop and, change cultures and become, winning programs across your athletic department, kind of like what Troy Dan is trying to do here. And so I really, I lock in on players quite a bit, want to see what their body language is. But probably where my biggest lock-in is on our coaches. I like to see, just their different approaches to coaching. I like to see, and that's just from whether they're a yeller, or whether they're an observer, to the drills they roll out every day, because you have these we call it Indy. Everybody probably calls it Indy, but you're doing the individual drills. That accent that position. And, I just, that to me is where the beauty of everything is where things take step forward. And then when we get into the team, I love it, because we do give, every player gets equal reps, which makes for long practices. I always like to pick the brains of the new coaches and say, what are you seeing here that you haven't seen somewhere else? And they're like the number of reps that every player gets. And that's true developmental. But that's that thing that Coach always talks about. We're going to coach every player the same. And, when you hear a coach come in that's new and they see how we do things, and then you hear them say that, I think that's a thing of beauty, because you see these players that maybe they come in and, maybe they were walk-ons and then they end up being star players on our team. And that can get lost so much at this point in time, in a transactional world of college football. And I still think we still very much have that in place. And our coaches have to convey that and have to believe in that and have to buy into that. And I think, with the staff that we've hired, even though we've had some comings and goings, that has maintained and we continue to make, every player has an equal opportunity to get on the field.
So do you go to practice and think, okay, do you rotate, like, I'm going to watch the wide receivers today, the defensive line tomorrow, or do you just how you feel given?
Well, it depends on you're gonna every practice is gonna have a certain
what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever gone into it that way. I do sometimes. We'll go over and say I want to watch this position today, but it's usually more of a kid and how they're how are they battling through any sort of maybe adversity that they're having in that position. It's Malcolm. Malcolm, that our kid from Texas. Why am I forgetting his last name? Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm not just fond of Texas kids. I want to maybe make sure we clear that up. But this was the day Corey Brown joined our staff, and I was down there. I love to see a new coach because they're gonna look different than the previous coach, and I love to see what are they going to hit first? Because that tells you everything about that coach. And he was just down there doing just basic, fundamentals of defensive line play. And I was watching Malcolm. He was hurt last year, so he didn't really get to go through any of those until we got into the bowl practices and to go through any of those drills. And, and Corey, just right off the bat, Coach Brown is very, 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 very technical. But you could tell he's a patient guy. He's gonna push them, but he's gonna make them go back and do something fundamentally correct. And which I love that kind of coach. The fundamentals are where it's at. And I grabbed Malcolm afterwards, and I was like, Malcolm, I said, you were working your butt off, man. And he was like, Dr. Hill's like, I got to get better. He goes, my technique is not where it needs to be. But I loved that he knew that because there were people, other players that were going through those drills that were more advanced. And some of that he just didn't get to do last year. He came off of high school. He was injured. So he was having just to watch and learn and to get in there. And, his fundamentals were a little, they weren't as crisp and maybe as pronounced. And but it was great, to see that. And I loved, how Corey was so patient with him. I mean, Malcolm's a big old dude. We didn't want to fill, but he's smart enough to know I'm not quite there yet, but I'm going to work my tail off to get there.
Kid, that is Dr. Susan Elza, the Assistant AD of Football Operations, entering her fourth season here with Husker football. That conversation was over 45 minutes. And so obviously it wouldn't fit in for timing purposes in our 2-hour live show. I posted the full conversation, as with all the conversations that you're going to hear tonight, on all of our YouTube channel and podcast platforms, so you can check it out. But I love picking her brain, love chatting with her. She's so helpful for us when we're trying to get Coach Rule at halftime and chat with her about a lot of different things, but appreciate her spending some time with us. We've had multiple requests to get her on, so I'm glad we were able to make that happen here for tonight. All right, got to get to a break. Coming up next, we're going to talk some Husker softball with one of the top shortstops in the entire nation heading into this season. Ava Kuzak up next here on our special edition of Sports Nightly, presented by Emeritus.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly Special Edition here as we celebrate National Girls and Women in Sports Day, which is powered by Emeritus. I'm Jessica Coody. Time to talk some Husker softball, which opens up the season coming up this Friday. We'll have it for you on the air, the second game of the season as they take on number 1 Texas on Friday night. But going into the season ranked top 10 in many of the preseason polls, Ava Kuzak is a senior shortstop. She's one of the top shortstops in the country, hit 21 home runs last season, also over 400 on the season. So hoping to build off of that here in her senior season, and lots of fun stuff to get into here with Ava. But wanted to preview the season and dive into her journey here to Lincoln with Ava Kuzak. So I was listening to a podcast that you did recently, the Coach and the Counselor podcast, and I thought it was pretty interesting, especially one point where you're coming off the year that you had last year at the plate. Unbelievable. But you went into a point where it wasn't always that way for you, and you had to struggle through some slumps and some hard times. And I think that's always important, especially on this podcast when I talk to women and young girls that might listen, that kind of advice. Take us through that and how hard that was and what you learned through that process where it hadn't always been easy for you and you've had to work through that.
Yeah, I think my freshman year was definitely a very tough year for me mentally. I think just like I was so focused on the results rather than just like the process that I was going through. And I think I took such a huge toll on my mental side of just being like, oh, I'm hitting ground balls and pop-ups. Like, what am I doing wrong? And hyper fixating on like every little wrong thing about my swing. But it was more just about like my mentality and just being aggressive and going for it. And I think the hugest part like that I learned was just like I needed to just let go of what was going to happen and just go for it and just not have fear, not play with fear. And that obviously took that took me my freshman and most of my sophomore year too to learn. And even in my last year too, like I had a couple weekends where I didn't hit well and I still was like, okay, going down back to like, oh, I'm grounding out, oh, I'm popping out. But then I was like, okay, we're not fearing what this pitcher's doing. We're not fearing what my swing looks like. Like we just got to battle and grind it out. And continuing to have that mindset for me was something that really helped me.
How do you do that when your human nature is fighting against that?
Yeah, it's tough. Like I think it's a lot of it took a lot of practice for me, honestly, just to like really get out of my head. And it's a lot of just mental prep, not even on the field during games, like it's in practice too. So like I tried to keep my routine the same while I was hitting like in batting practice, just how I would step in the box and trying to have my big breath that would take me back to where I'm just like, okay, in this pitch, we're just going to grind it out and then reset and do the same thing over again. And doing that in practice is what made it so much easier in the games, is because I've been doing it when it wasn't mattering and when I tried to put myself in a high pressure situation like in practice, that when I went into the game, I was like, okay, I've done this before, rather than being put in that game situation where I'm like, oh no, this is bases loaded, what am I going to do? Rather just focusing on that breath and just getting in the box.
You guys have talked a lot about playing and enjoying it and enjoying the game. How did you come to that personally and realizing that's important for you to approach playing softball that way?
Yeah, softball is a game of failure. Like it just is. And it's not going to be perfect. It's not like you can't hit a point in softball where you're like, oh, I'm amazing hitting 1,000. My fielding percentage is 1,000. Like everything's perfect. Like softball just doesn't work that way. There's pitchers that are going to figure out a way to get you out. There's going to be a ball that you might have a wrong read on and have a mental mistake. Like those little things are going to happen. And we've just really focused on enjoying that hard too, and enjoying just every single moment about this game, because it's a learning lesson. You can learn from failure, you can learn from success, and just rather than like only focusing on success, we're trying to focus on those failures too, so it helps us in the long run.
That's great. So you were a multi-sport star growing up. In fact, softball wasn't even your first sport, right?
Yes, it was dance and soccer.
So how did you wind up then finding a love for softball?
I played t-ball, and when I started with soccer and t-ball, I had to wear a skirt or my princess dress. I would not wear the team uniform. Like, it wasn't cute enough for me, and I would be on the sides crying because I didn't have my princess dress on. And my mom was like, "You were horrible. Like, I don't know how you got you to play." But I think after that, I was going through dance and soccer, and then I think in 10U, I actually started club, or 8U, club softball. It was one of those where I started kind of late for most people, and I was starting on a club team, and then I played with some of my friends that I was actually playing soccer with. So I was around people that I've already been playing other sports with, and then I just started falling in love with it, and I just continued with soccer and softball throughout.
How important was doing all the sports for you and developing you into the athlete you became?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, I also did swim too, and I honestly just felt like it really like shifted my brain into different like mindset of just like, okay, I get to run in soccer, and then softball, it's like I'm hitting a ball and fielding a ball. And then swim, it honestly just took the pressure off like my whole body, and it just like kind of evened me out. Just swimming in general was amazing, and I loved it. And I think what helped me was just like, okay, I got to go to soccer practice, and then I got to kind of switch my brain to softball practice. And doing two different things that required two different things, I think really helped me in turn for both sports. Like, it just helped build athleticism, and I think that's the best thing that was amazing for me was I was running and I was keeping my body in shape and doing all these things, and then also that had like my hand-eye coordination and all of that. So that was kind of cool just to see how they all came together when they are two different really sports.
Was it always shortstop?
Yes, and I did a pitching for like 12U for like literally 6 months, and I was like, I miss shortstop. I'm done. My mom was happy about that one.
Really?
Yeah.
She didn't like you in the circle?
I hit her in the shin once, and she was like, I'm not catching you anymore. I can't do it. So it was my dad's job, and then I just was like, this is too much. I want to just play shortstop or middle infield. I was second and short.
So then, and again, mentioned you're one of the top shortstops in the country going into this season. How did you develop into that where you are one of the best in this game going into this year?
I think just being surrounded by people that push me every day. I feed off of everyone's energy, and I love feeling those people that are next to me that want to get better as well, and those girls around me that they just push me to get better each and every day, so that I have Jordy's back when she's pitching. I have Alexis's back when she's pitching. Kylie, Emerson, Hannah. Like, I have all of their backs, and my goal is just to continue to have their back and my teammates' backs that are next to me, and that was just kind of something that I focused on.
Okay, so I gotta ask you about the cow. We've seen the cow all over social media bowling, right?
Yes.
Tell us the backstory.
Oh, my best friend. Dr. Joe showed up to one practice last year, like in the middle of spring, with baby born, like baby just born. And Coach Ravel like put in the practice plan, we have a surprise guest. So I was like, oh, someone's coming to talk to us. No, it was Bull and the cow. And like Dr. Joe's carrying her on the field, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, she was so cute. And then after that, she just kept sending me pictures of her, and I was just falling in love with her because I've never really been around cows. And then fall came, and Dr. Joe was like, does Ava want to come help me with on the farm? And I was kind of looking for a little internship just to get more experience outside of small animal. I wanted to do more because it's good to have like a variety of experiences. So I thought the large animal would help me kind of just broaden that a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I would definitely love to. So I would just help Dr. Joe on whatever she needs and just kind of help with the cows. So it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, so, and I'm told that it's when you go out there, he runs right up to you.
Oh yeah, she comes running for me. Yeah,
so she knows when you're there. And
yes.
You had to help bottle feed her, is that right?
Yeah. A bunch of the girls, they brought a bottle, so we were just passing around and making everyone, like having everyone feed her.
So when you say a small animal, you want to pursue maybe being a vet, right? And always have?
Yes, always have. I think ever since I was little, I've loved animals. Like, that was a big thing for me. And I also loved just science and like fixing puzzles. And I just loved having things like make sense in my brain and figuring things out. So that kind of just led me. I loved biology. I loved all the science classes. And then the little goal, or I guess like I just had a little heart for animals. So I just wanted to do that. And then I was kind of in between softball coach and vet, two very different separate things. And then I lost one of my dogs in a kind of a little bit of an accident. So, and I kind of just switched my brain. I was like, I want to be there for someone that went through that same thing as me. And I wanted to hopefully help them keep their dog alive. where I could help them and have that dog live a healthy life. So that was one thing that really helped me.
So, but you are now maybe wavering a little bit on maybe doing large animal.
Yes, I am definitely set. Like, I'm set on companion animals. I definitely want to work with dogs, but Dr. Joe is persuading me a little bit. So I'm maybe thinking mixed vet, maybe thinking large animals. So we're kind of leaning. She's got me teetering.
What have you learned though throughout? I mean, because it's a lot of work, a lot of responsibility.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I was like, I knew it was a lot of work on the farm. And then she came and I was like, oh, she moves. Like, I had to be like, keep up with Dr. Joe. And I was like, I got to keep my step up and keep working. But it was also kind of nice because a lot of my classes also included large animal stuff. So when I would work with her, I kind of knew a little bit of the stuff, like just for my feeds and feeding class and my physiology classes, I kind of learned a little bit. So prior to going that, I was like, okay, I know a little bit. And then it just really helped kind of piece things together from class into like in the hands-on world.
So Bolin's kind of like a mascot, a secondary mascot for you guys.
Yes, it's Bolin's besties, and that's the softball team is Bolin's besties for her besties.
But you're her number one bestie.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
I think that just kind of speaks to the culture. You guys do find a balance, right? Of hey, we work really hard, but we also find time to celebrate each other and enjoy the things off the field.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's the biggest part of too is like when you show up and work hard and then after practice and we're happy with that day, we can go have a good time after and hang out with each other and go watch a movie or go to dinner together. Like we're going to Sammy's birthday dinner tonight to go get pho. So like we always are hanging out together. And I think that's just the coolest part about our team is like we're not together only on the field. It's like 24/7.
So when you go into the transfer portal and you're looking, was your heart just pulling you to Nebraska because of the connection here?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit. I've always just, ever since I was little, I loved Nebraska. And that was somewhere I talked to Ravel like during my recruiting phase too, also like prior to me committing and my junior of high school. And I loved my conversations with Coach Ravel. Like that was a hard call to make when I said I was committing to somewhere else. And then when she called me after I entered the transfer portal, I was like, this is definitely a sign right now. And I went on my visit and my heart was just like, we literally were in Coach Ravel's backyard feeding baby bunnies we just found. And I was like what? Like, this is just like literally just like telling me, come here. Mm-hmm. And I was like calling my dad on the visit. I was like, Dad, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to commit right now. So it was cool.
What is your family? Because you're telling me your family, longtime Nebraska fans, what have they thought of watching you be a Husker?
They've loved it. And I've had a lot of more family that on my dad's side that I really actually never knew that or have come to my games too. So I've met a lot of more Kuzaks, which has been really cool. And my brother plays 2 hours north at Northeast. He plays baseball for in Norfolk. So that's been cool because then they are able to see both mine and his games when we're both at home. So they've been making crazy like schedules. We're like, okay, we'll be at your game Friday, his game Saturday, your game Sunday. Crazy, but it worked out, so that was kind of cool. But they've loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well let's bring it full circle because you guys are not taking things lightly to open up the season. What are the goals kind of out of the gate for this team when you have high goals, high expectations, but you're playing some of the best out of the gate here these first few weeks of the season?
I think it's honestly the best thing for us. I think we're trying to just be battle tested every single game just to prove ourselves and put ourselves in those situations so that when postseason comes that we've also gone through these tough games and been through close games. Like I think that's what the biggest thing that we're most excited about is being in close games and just finding a way to grind it out. If we're up by one or if we're down by one, finding a way to win. And I think that's the coolest thing about this team is we want to be in those situations so that we can come out with a win.
Again, that is the senior shortstop and team captain, Ava Kuzak of Husker softball, as, again, the top 10 team going into the season. They open up coming up on Friday at the UTSA Invitational. Washington at 1:05 on Friday, and then the reigning national champions, Texas, coming up at 6:05, which we will carry for you right here on the Huskers Radio Network with Nate Rohr on the call once again for Husker softball coming up this season. All right, got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up hour number one. Emeritus celebrates Nebraska women's athletics on National Girls and Women in Sports Day and every day. Please visit Huskers.com/women's athletics to learn more. Nebraska women's athletics powered by Emeritus.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back. Just about a minute left here of hour number 1. What a fun first hour. And hey, we've got a jam-packed second hour coming up for you. We're going to talk Husker volleyball, Husker basketball, and Husker women's golf. A lot of great guests continue to coming up right after this break, but did want to get to John in Omaha on the text line. He said, just as we now have 2 professional volleyball teams in our area, I would love to see us have one of the professional softball leagues with the team from Omaha or Lincoln. I think it would get great support. And also said he's excited for the rest of tonight's show. Go Big Red. Thank you, John and Omaha, for that. And I know a couple people said that in the chat as well. So I agree. I mean, look, the support for women's sports is here. There's no doubt about it. So I think it would do well. But all right, so coming up next hour, actually on the top of hour number 1, we have Terea Sigler and Ryan Hunter of Husker Volleyball. What a fun conversation. I laughed so much, so cannot wait to bring you that. And shout out Cassidy Ottoman, who is making her debut here, but she has been all over our Huskers radio network over the last year. If you've seen our social media coverage, a lot of time our interviews here on the network, she's holding the camera for me. So she's doing the ticker for us here tonight. We needed a woman's voice on the ticker, so she's making her debut. So come on back. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly coming up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Cassidy Ottoman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Nebraska's Britt Prince advanced to the list of the top 10 midseason candidates for the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year Award, presented by the WBCA and announced by the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame on Monday, February 2nd. Prince, a 5'11 sophomore, leads the Huskers with 18.1 points and 4.4 assists per game this season. Nebraska women's basketball signee Ashley Copel earned one of 24 roster spots for the McDonald's High School All-American game ahead of the NCAA Women's Final Four in Phoenix. The final rosters for the McDonald's Boys and Girls All-American games were announced on Monday, February 2nd. In other Husker news, the Nebraska women's tennis team closed out its busy weekend with 2 victories over North Dakota and Kansas City on Sunday, February 1st at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. The Big Red did not drop a single match to the Fighting Hawks or the Roos. Finally, Sunday's top 10 men's basketball matchup between number 5 Nebraska and number 9 Illinois drew the largest viewership ever for a college basketball game on FS1 with 1.37 million people tuning in. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Fed left, Lipscomb for the lead. Roll shot, block back covered, joust at the net. Nebraska owns it. 8-7 Big Red in the third. Back row, T. Sigler. Kaboom! It's in. That's a back row weapon, the great freshman. It's 9-7 Nebraska.
Ball fake on Finnegan, spins around, flips it back out top. Kennedy Williams. Shot clock at 11, game clock at 37. Kennedy will step into a 3, top of the key, baked it in! You betcha! A CBA banker for the freshman.
Full count, 1 out. The pitch from LaRue. Change up, Cusack swings and lifts this one. Left center and deep. Cullivan back to the wall. It's gone! It's gone! 2-0 Nebraska! Ball and Cusack both lead the yard in the first.
Now, here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, and our National Girls and Women in Sports Day celebration continues. The day's actually tomorrow. We will not be on the air tomorrow because we will have Husker women's basketball for you here on the network. So we are making this show here tonight our celebration. But we continue talking women's sports with Husker volleyball, and this is a treat. I'm just telling you. The Rai and Ray show took over social media last year. If you're on TikTok, on Instagram, you probably saw it. But Ryan Hunter and Terea Sigler, the freshmen, they were testing Gatorade everywhere they went. It was hilarious. But they came in together as a duo, and we talked about a lot of different things, including that, but also their roles. Obviously, Ryan Hunter coming off a redshirt season, and then Terea Sigler playing a role last year, but a different kind of role than what she was used to. So we got into a lot of great things. It was a fascinating conversation. I had a lot of fun, and we're going to bring that to you here now. In terms of this day and age with all of college sports and athletics and the transfer portal, every year, fans are like, oh, who's coming back? Who's staying? Mm-hmm. So for you guys and in Nebraska volleyball, 2 years in a row that nobody goes into the portal. Why is that about this program that people want to stay here no matter what the role might be?
I would just say like the culture, like the people. We love, we love each other so much, and I just think that plays like such a huge factor into like how we play on the court. Sorry, and yeah, but like the culture, the people, the program, like everything is just so like people based, and I think we kind of like feed off of that, like when we're on the court and stuff, and the level of play, like the standard that we have is so high, but it's just like everyone comes in every day, like wanting to meet that standard and achieve that standard, and it kind of just like brings us all together, especially because we love each other so much, and then we all want to help each other like reach that standard. And so that kind of like community that we build every year, I guess just makes people want to stay.
Yeah, I also think that like you're getting the best training whether you're a starter or not. Like everyone gets quality reps, everyone's getting better, and I also think that, like Ryan said, like it's a very like loving family, and obviously there are going to be kinks, there are going to be some things that go on, but I mean ultimately I feel like our team is very selfless of like how can we be there for each other on and off the court. I mean we all hang out with each other outside, like we all just like I just think that we value being a good human being rather than also just being a good athlete. I feel like that's something that kind of gets lost in translation in the day and age of sports, unfortunately. But like, I mean, I think it's just such a testament that like, you know, they are great like volleyball players, but like they are even better people, which is something to really be proud about.
Which I think you guys have to have with how competitive your practices are, because if you couldn't just, turn it off, nobody would get along in the locker room, because you guys battle it out every day, right?
It's crazy. Oh gosh, I remember our first week here, we're in practice, and I remember I was like, Ryan, why do I feel like I'm in the Final Four right now? Like, this is so intense. But seriously, like practices are so intense where like games are like, oh. It's not, wow, okay, it's not, like, I can breathe a little bit because our practices are so, like, I want to win, I'm going to do what I can to win. And it's, like, we have our friendly banter of, like, talking across the net and whatever.
We have a lot of banter.
But it's all love.
It's always love.
Are you two of the best, like, banterers? Or who would be the best?
The best banter as of last year was Rebecca Alec.
Alec, yes.
Yeah.
So who's going to take the crown then moving forward?
I don't know if you can take that.
I know.
I don't know. Like
her jersey's hung up in the Banter Hall of Fame. Most definitely.
I think it's like really funny to like see like even like Bergen will get into it. And then when
Bergen
Bergen gets into it, we all like that like brings a fire almost of like, okay, if Bergen's going to say something, I'm going to say something.
We have to, because Bergen's like the most calmest person on the court.
Calm. And then when she gets it and when she's the loudest one, I'm like, oh yeah, like that was good. Like that was a good play.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just have a couple more serious ones, but in terms of the coming in and having the expectations and the pressure that come along with Nebraska volleyball, but also just the eyeballs, how many people recognize you everywhere you go, all of that. Was that a transition process for you both, or did you kind of know what you were getting into? How were you able to manage at such a young age all of the eyeballs watching everything and so, I guess, tuned into every move that you make? Or was it something you had to kind of learn over the last year?
I kind of knew a little bit about what I was getting into, only because I went to like the volleyball day in Nebraska, the little stadium play. Where there's 92,000. Sorry, the big, huge stadium play. When there was like so many people in the stands. I was like amazed. I was like, wow. And it was so cool because like I was standing right next to the court. So like when I looked up, I could see like all the people. And it was such like it was low-key kind of scary. I was a little frightened because I was like, oh my God, there's so many people in here. It's so loud. Like you could hear it like so many miles away from the stadium. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. But also, for me, it wasn't really like a transition because when I was younger, I used to dance. So like I already had to like perform in front of like thousands of people. So like that wasn't really like a big change for me. So it doesn't really make me like nervous, but like the amount of people that show up for our games and just like are here to support us like in the stands is just like, it's just so crazy to me. It's very surreal.
It is so surreal. Yeah. I feel like I remember my first phone call with John on June 15th, our junior year, sophomore, like whenever that date was. And when I was talking and he was like, oh yeah, like if you commit here, like I hope you know that like you're going to get a lot of attention. And I was like, what do you know? Like it's not, okay, attention. I remember the day that I hit post on like You're Committed, it was like, boom, like you had people texting you, like calling you about interviews, all this stuff. And I was like, man, okay, so he was right. But like, as Ryan said, I'm astounded that people care so much about like, not even just the sport, but just like women's athletics. I feel like it's grown over years, and it's like I have a heart of gratitude every time that someone asks like if I'm a Nebraska volleyball player, because I'm just like, I feel so grateful and honored that you think that I'm someone to look up to as a volleyball player. And so, like Ryan said, like it's been people from, is this the Midwest? Would we call this the Midwest? Sorry. The Midwest are so incredibly sweet and like nice. So Husker Nation's a different type of beast. Like it's crazy.
Okay, so I want to get the backstory for the Rai and Ray show. If you follow these two on TikTok, on social media, they are quite entertaining, and they do Gatorade taste tests at everywhere you go. I mean, how did it start? Did you guys immediately click? I mean, just tell me all the origin stories of this.
I think it was because, so at Penn State, that was our first like big, like, that was like what? October 3rd. Like that was our first big.
How do you remember that?
Because that.
Impressive. Anyways, keep going.
Penn State, right? Right. I remember I saw like a review on TikTok, and I was like, oh, like that'd be really cool. I was like, Ryan, we should try this, and then whatever. So then we got into it, and I was like, how do you want to film this? And you were just like, I don't know, just hit play, and then hit play, and you were like. She calls me Rai because of Ray. She calls me Ray because of Terea Ray. No one's ever called me that. I call her Ray. Rai.
Glitch in the system.
Right.
Okay.
And we just like hit play, and it was just like, what's up, guys? Like,
what's up, guys?
Welcome to the show. And then we back. Just like, I mean, I kind of was like, let's see how the first video does. And if people think this is cringy or funny, and then like it kind of like blew up from, I mean, I've gotten so many messages being like, when are you guys coming back? We need the show to get back on.
Season 2.
Right.
We really just have to like, I don't know. I think we just need to actually like plan out what we're going to do for season 2. Because people are really looking forward to it.
Izzy Superstar social media extraordinaire is in the building, and I feel like we need to float it to her. At some point, you guys need to do like a blind taste test of, you know, like the Diet Cokes?
Yes.
Something like that.
Okay.
We need to do that.
Yes.
Okay, but what makes like good Gatorade, and who has the best?
Okay, so really, you really have to like. So like, okay, the I don't know the word potency. The potency, that's very important. If it's watered down, that's very important. Me personally, color. It has to be pretty.
If it's ugly, we're in.
Yeah, no, like no. My favorite color is the teal one.
Yeah, mine's game day green. I just feel like that's just.
So it's more like, do you have a favorite flavor then? Or is it how it's constructed?
Well, I don't really know what the flavor is because, like most schools, like they just mix.
They just dump stuff together, and it's just
like a flavor.
Well, funny story. We went to Michigan State, and we usually have like 1 or 2 guest stars, and Becca was our first guest star, and she was trying it, whatever. And we're like, Becca, what do you think? She goes, I taste pickle juice.
This is pickle juice in it.
And we're like, well, I don't know. And then like she's like asking around, whatever. So then we post the video, and we have a game. That was at 11 a.m. We have a game at 6. We go in there, like we go into their locker room, and they have the big jug of Gatorade, and there's a pickle juice bottle on the top of it. Because we also rated it like a 4 out of 10. Yeah. And they put 4 out of 10 like on there, but with the pickle juice bottle. So then Becca's like, I told you guys there's pickle juice. And then we ask a trainer, and they're like, no. Like, that's just
We're
not
trolling
a thing.
you.
We're trolling you guys.
Oh, that's so funny.
They were just trying to joke with us. But, I mean, I feel like with Gatorade, it's really easy to go overboard or, like, not do enough.
Yeah.
It's just,
completely.
like, it's all about, like, for us, I mean, as we're professionals at this now, I just feel like schools are getting a little too stingy or they're just doing too much.
Yeah.
We just got to find a happy medium.
Well, is it hopefully with the traction the show's getting that people will up their game when Nebraska is coming to play
I
there?
hope so. Either they like when we were doing it, like some schools wouldn't even put out their Gatorade. Like they just
We were
give
just
us
testing water.
We were testing water. Like, we were like,
What?
this is not filtered.
I remember it was like, where were we? Someone came to us. I think Michigan State then came to us later in the season. And the Gatorade that we put out apparently wasn't very good. And they made a review about it. And they were like, you mean ours is a 4 out of 10? It like kind of got a little like snippy.
Oh,
And we were
okay.
like,
Get
wow.
really serious about their Gatorade.
Yes.
We're just like,
so we
guys,
had to put out a disclaimer like it's all
yeah,
love. It's all love.
You know.
So are we keeping it with Gatorade, or are we going to add some new additions, new flavor, or
No,
new
I think we should like
layers?
spice it up a little bit.
I mean, I feel like our freshman year was good because we introduced like the arena we were playing in. We'd be like, oh, we're at Rec Hall. Here's the court, so beautiful. Da da da. And then it was like, okay, Gatorade. I just don't know like what else. Like maybe we could test like the bleachers and how comfortable the seats are. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like
I don't know.
I feel like that could be good.
I think we should like keep up like the review aspect, but I don't know with what. Maybe we could like, cause like remember when we made that In-N-Out video? People loved that. That was great.
Well, stay tuned for season 2.
So, yeah.
Tell everybody, where can they find it?
You can find like the Rai and Ray Ray show at Ryan Matea on TikTok, but also we're gonna start to mix it up a little bit, you know, and then we're gonna do some more reviews on Tarea's account. What's your TikTok name?
TT Sigler, I think.
Well, maybe we can put a graphic. So
Maybe
people
just
can-
like right here,
yes.
right there. Or maybe we can start some YouTube vlogs.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, after today, because I've got a million more questions. I feel like this should be a regular thing.
We could talk for hours if you really needed it.
I would love that. Maybe we could get like somebody to sponsor us, and we could
maybe
Gatorade. Love the way you think.
Yes.
Okay, before we close this out, because again we're celebrating National Girls and Women in Sports Day. Who were your biggest female sports inspirations growing up?
Growing up,
and it can be any sport.
Do you want to go?
I would say, probably, okay, so when I was little, I played tennis. So I loved tennis. I did like my elementary school 5th grade project on Venus Williams. Love her. So I would say the sisters, Serena and Venus. Who else? I don't know. I'd probably say some dancer figure. I couldn't tell you the name, but like I liked those people too. Yeah.
I feel like growing up, I played all the sports. So I feel like growing up, it was Simone Biles because I was a gymnast until I started growing, and then that dream went out the window. But I just loved her. Oh, and Gabby Douglas. I had the picture book when I was younger, and I just loved how she just her whole story of adversity and how that led her to be how great she is now. And so I feel like as a volleyball player, it was always Catherine Plummer. I feel like she was just such a cool athlete to watch growing up, just because she was a hard worker and a team player. And I mean, 3 national championships is not too shabby to have on your resume either. But I just feel like looking up to those players, they always just seem like really good people. I feel like that's what made them stand out to me.
Tareya Sigler and Ryan Hunter of Husker Volleyball. I told you it was a lot of fun, lots of fun conversation with those two. And I'll post that full conversation on our podcast platforms, our YouTube channel, so you can check it out. But they had a lot of fun, and I thought it was really neat what they were talking about, the transfer portal. And for the second straight year, not a single Husker goes to the transfer portal, and just wanting to be the best and the culture within that locker room. So I thought that was a fascinating take there. Emeritus celebrates Nebraska women's athletics on National Girls and Women in Sports Day and every day. Please visit Huskers.com/women's athletics to learn more. Nebraska women's athletics powered by Emeritus. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk some Husker women's basketball and softball with Kennedy Williams. Keep it here on Sports Nightly.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to IIAN.org/careers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly and our special National Girls and Women in Sports Day celebration. Okay, let's talk some Husker women's basketball and softball with Kennedy Williams, who is a two-sport athlete here at Nebraska. Obviously grew up right here, hometown kid. Mom is the head coach, but had to sit out last year coming off the injury in high school, but played a role for Husker softball, making it to the Super Regional, was a pinch runner, and was adjusting to the college game, but is expected to take on an even bigger role for Husker softball this year when she eventually joins the team, and has played a big role for her first season playing Husker basketball this season. So had a chance to chat with her about both sports and how she juggles both. So then what were you looking to bring to your role? Because we've seen you play some really big minutes, some important minutes when, as you get into your first season here, actually getting to play and provide that kind of spark off the bench. What were you trying to provide in your role?
I think I started with just I want to be the energy on our team. When I come in, I want there to be a spark. I want us to be okay, Kennedy's here, we have our defensive motor kind of, and just someone who's going to pressure the crap out of the ball and make the ball handlers uncomfortable. And I've kind of embraced that role, and yeah.
I was going to ask you about that because you could tell you take a lot of pride, right, in what you do defensively?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Has that, I think that's always been kind of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how you're wired.
Yes. I think in AAU and in high school, I was always put on the other team's best player. So I kind of whenever I get scored on, I take that personally. And I'm just I don't want to lose my matchup, especially on the defensive side.
Have you found that, at this level, have you had to do anything differently to continue to grow that part of it, or film study, or are you doing anything to continue to expand on that?
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things for me, at least right now, is making a play on the ball before they try and go up in their shooting motion, because usually when people are shooting, they can just shoot over me. So I think just kind of working on that, and then just some extra film, just watching the ball handlers, what they like to do, their favorite move, whether it's behind the back or just that crossover.
How has it been playing with Brett Prince again? You guys played a lot of ball together, right?
Yes, yeah, we've played together for quite some time. I think there's a trend going around that's throwback to 2016, and there's a picture of us when we came to a Husker camp here. And it's awesome just to see how she's grown since we've been, I don't even know, 10 or 11 years old. And yeah, we've grown pretty close too.
Matt Coatney, who calls the games for us here on the Huskers Radio Network, has brought you up a lot in that when you come in, allows Britt to play off the ball, that he could tell that there's a different comfort level there. Do you feel that too, kind of just playing with her, that you guys know each other so well that maybe you can alleviate some of the point guard duties and let her kind of go score? What is that like when you're in there together with her?
Yeah, I think we both have, we've played together a lot. We know how to kind of play off of each other. She can bring up the ball. I can bring up the ball. It kind of alleviates a little bit of pressure off of both of us. And then even on the defensive side, when we start the game, she kind of has to pick up their point guards. But then when I come in, she kind of can play halfback and not have to pressure as much. And so she can kind of get a little bit more energy to score on offense and everything. So, yeah.
I want to go back to just the defense part of it. And, you brought up if you're not doing things right, people could score over you, whatever it might be. And I always like to use this podcast to speak also to the younger generation. So if there's, a young athlete that might be told, hey, you're too small. You've kind of found other ways that you can work around that, right?
Yes. I think using your height, if you're short, you can use that to your advantage. Just if you were tall, you can use that to your advantage. And usually, when you're short, you have to find, I don't know, some sneakier ways to try and use that to your advantage, whether when you're in the post, digging out the ball or something, or just making people really uncomfortable. You can take pride in that.
Have you, you talked about it. This is a dream your whole life. What has it been like realizing that, hey, my game does translate, that it's not just, because I know we've talked a lot about it with Sam Hoiberg, and it was a process for him to get to the point, but being the coach's kid and then realizing, oh, I can contribute. What has that process been like for you?
Yeah, I think when I first started this year, I didn't really have any expectations with my playing time or whatever. I was just going to work hard, and if that translated to playing time, then I was going to not complain about that. But yeah, I think it's been fun to see just how my personal growth has been just from last year when I was just doing workouts in a brace and kind of just when we were in our workouts, they're like, these are the shots that you're going to get in our games. And I think that helped a lot with my confidence just with this year being on the floor.
Okay, so let's talk about now how you've managed both sports. You've always been a multi-sport player, athlete, but how did it compare when you got here in the first year? Because when we first talked to you going into it, there was kind of a game plan, but you were also, again, coming off the injury. Mm-hmm. So then how did it compare to what you maybe thought it might be to what it actually is?
Yeah, I think in high school, I was a multi-sport athlete, and it was kind of go, go, go. But here, when we started softball, and we were having 3 to 4 hour long practices, I was not used to that. And then after we would have practice, it was we would go to weights right away, or we would have early weights and then practice later. And I think when I was in high school, we maybe had a 2 hour practice max. And also another thing that I think college athletics has shown me is film is pretty important. And in high school, I don't think for softball I didn't watch film at all, and it's been a pretty important piece here at Nebraska.
How was it being a part of last year's team going to the Super Regional? I mean, you were the number one baseman. It's funny, we were talking to Ron Ravel recently, and they're even in practices, they're saying if someone gets a hit, hey, all right, and Kennedy's coming in to run for me right now, but you took on that role, and you were that person that was, gonna try to score every time that you were on the bases. But what was it like just being a part of that team and going to the Super Regional and just the run that this softball team went on last year?
Yeah, it was super special. I think growing up as a young softball athlete, you always are watching the College World Series. There's a tournament for younger athletes that goes on there, and I was just being one game away from being there. It was hard, the loss, but I think it also, looking back now, it was just super special being able to play on that stage and just get that close to being there. And I think we're working really hard to try and get to that next stage, which is the World Series this year.
How much you felt like your softball game grew? Because that was another thing that Rhonda Ravel talked about, being that you played all three sports. You didn't necessarily always get to just play, because if you were playing AAU ball, you're going up against the best. But in softball, you didn't always have the chance to play club ball. How did you feel like your softball game grew just in the last year?
Yeah, I think there was a lot to learn. When I got here for softball, I hadn't always faced the most challenging pitchers, and so just coming here and facing our spin ball machine I was whoa. It took me a while to kind of adjust to that, and just even adjust to seeing a real drop ball and having to kind of change how your hands are maybe. And yeah, I think there was definitely a lot to learn when I got here, but we got there. I had a lot of time spent in the cages. So
what is it like? Because especially on the softball roster, really both teams, but on the softball roster, almost half the teams from the state of Nebraska. Mm-hmm. How is that? How does that feel being a part of that when so many young girls grew up and now you guys are kind of joining forces together, mm-hmm. wearing the N?
Yeah, I think it shows, one, how good the competition is for softball in Nebraska, and two, how everyone wants to put that N on and wear that Nebraska across their chest. And it's really special just being a hometown kid, a home state kid. I think it just means a little bit more when you put on that Husker N.
So then how do you go about, especially for two sports, managing what your goals are, right? And what you want to provide for each team? Do you keep them separate? Do you look at things together? I mean, how do you go about managing what you need to be and what your role needs to be for each program?
Yeah, I think I try and keep it pretty much the same. I want to be the energy on the basketball court on the defensive side. I want to be the energy in the dugout, running the bases, just creating that energy for our team wherever it's needed on like our softball team and our basketball team.
How about going into a season 2 and you know, again, the more you get into it, the more I'm sure you'll feel it, but kind of the expectations that are coming along with the softball team. How is that for this team, knowing, hey, what we did last year and wanting to build off of that? Well, you're one game away from the Women's College World Series. So how do you guys manage kind of those expectations when they're pretty lofty expectations?
Yeah, I think we can really use that as fuel for this year, just seeing the expectations, kind of like trying to tune out the outside noise and just focus in on like what we want to do, how like we're going to play these games. And I think last year, just being one game away, that will really like fuel us for this year. Like we don't want to feel that again.
Again, that was Kennedy Williams of Husker softball and women's basketball. Got to get to a break. More of the show coming up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. Their technicians don't earn commission. This equals fair treatment to their customers. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company, and now to celebrate the 75th year in business for a limited time, get a New York AC or furnace for $75 per month. Get you and your loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Call 402-391-2336.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor. Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home. And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. We've had so many fun conversations here tonight. We've got one more to share with you. Arden Lockheim of Husker Women's Golf, but also she is a rising star in sports broadcasting. I don't know how she does it all, but she is absolutely fantastic. And I had a chance to talk to her about golf, sports broadcasting, and all of the things. Here's that conversation. Okay, so why golf then? Why, how, where'd you find your love for the sport of golf?
When we moved from Seattle to Utah, which was for my dad's job, our rental house was on a golf course, and so it was just right there. And so that was my first kind of intro into it, is I went to the range with my dad. Neither of my parents were big golfers, but they both dabbled. And so I immediately just enjoyed it because I think when you're 3, you're not really allowed to hit things very often. And I think I liked that. And then it definitely became more of a love of, I started playing it more often. I started taking it a bit more seriously. But I didn't play a tournament until I was 8, which sounds early, but in comparison to some of these girls was actually kind of late. And I saw a movie called The Short Game. It's this documentary about these young kids going to the World Championships in Pinehurst. And I watched that, and at the time I had never played a competitive golf tournament, but I saw it and I saw that tournament, and I said to my parents, I want to play in that. And so this is such a great representation of like my parents and their support, because they did the research and were like, okay, what is even the qualification process? Is that even possible? And so they put me in the U.S. Kids Tour, and I played that the whole summer, and I actually did ultimately qualify for that World Championships in 2015 that summer. So that was kind of the start of it, is watching a movie and realizing I wanted to take golf to a competitive level, and then kind of the rest is history.
Wow, that's cool. So, hey, advice to young golfers: watch movies, watch documentaries. Yep. You never know. Okay, so over the summer, you won the Utah Women's State Amateur back in July. What was that? How rewarding was that? And that competition, was that like?
I mean, I still get kind of giddy thinking about it. That's the biggest athletic accomplishment of my life. It's probably up there on just like best days of my life. It's pretty close to calling the bowl game recently with my dad, but athletically, that was kind of the pinnacle for me so far. And it was really cool for me to do it at home. I have so much pride in Nebraska and wearing the N on my chest and all of that, but obviously that's a pride that's been adopted in the last 3 years. And with Utah, that's where I would say I'm from. I've lived there since I was 3. I don't remember living anywhere else. And with the golf community there, it's pretty tight-knit. We're smaller, but it's a very strong golf community. And so adding my name to a list of girls whose names I know and careers I've watched was absolutely incredible. And, you know, my parents were there. My brother was there. One of my best friends was caddying me that day. And it was, that's a memory I'm going to keep for a long time. And those pictures I still will look back on, you know, every week just to kind of remind myself how cool that week was.
You came from behind too, right? On the final day?
The final day I was leading almost the whole day, but the semifinals, I guess, it's like a March Madness bracket basically is the style. If anyone watches the Ryder Cup, it's match play in a March Madness style bracket, which I also love. It's match play is the best in golf. It's a different style. But
some people either love it or hate it, right?
Yeah, I love it. And I think that comes from playing other sports. As I played basketball, I played softball. So I kind of like that mano-a-mano competition, and match play gives that. But yeah, so my semifinal round was against Kelsey Chugg. She's like this legend in Utah golf. Her record was something crazy in match play. She'd only lost like 2 or 3 times. She absolutely whooped my butt last year in this same tournament. So that was a pretty big one for me to win. But yeah, the finals match, I was comfortably ahead for most of it.
So what can you take away then from winning such a prestigious honor going into your junior season here collegiately?
It was a good reminder that I'm good enough, and my sophomore year didn't go the way I wanted to. It wasn't a bad year, but it didn't stack up to my freshman year. And so I think it was just a really good reminder that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right things and I'm working on the right things. And so that was a real confidence boost for me to know that I can hang with the best people in Utah who, in my opinion, can stack up to many of the states out there. And I think it's been a good thing for me to lean on as well after a rougher first semester, just to know that I am good enough. And golf is such a finicky sport, and it comes with so many ups and downs. And so having that just kind of mark where I'm not ever trying to emulate that, and I think that was kind of something I had to learn, but just remembering that for a week of my life and beyond that, I had a pretty good summer. I was really good, and that's still in me. And so just knowing that the more I work and the more time I put in, like, it's going to come back, even if there are some lower moments.
How do you balance all of it? You know, making sure that you're doing what you need to do as the athlete part of it and preparing the golf part of it, but then also doing all the things that you're doing in the sports broadcasting world. And look, we talk about it all the time. I mean, the preparation is no joke when you're trying to prepare for teams. It's one thing when you're preparing for Nebraska, you know that team, but the other teams that they're playing, and you obviously do your research. So how are you balancing both the demands of an athlete, but then also the demands of a broadcaster?
The athletic side, obviously, not that it comes first, but I don't ever want the broadcasting to interfere with that. I would say my academics comes first of the grades, and then it's athletics, and then it's broadcasting, because ultimately broadcasting is kind of something extra that I do add. It's part of my curriculum, but a lot of the game calling and stuff is genuinely just extra stuff. So I always want to make sure I'm putting in work for my team and that I'm the best I can be for them, and I want to make sure my grades are in order. But I would say, luckily, I don't have the same academic rigor as, you know, like a pre-med or a business college or something like that, just because a lot of mine are projects based. And so the class load is manageable. It's not insane amounts of reading or insane amounts of work outside of class. And so it does give me time to prep for the Huskers. But I think it's a lot of planning. My high school was really difficult. I went to the hardest high school in Utah. And so that was a lot of time management to handle schooling and golf and skiing, because I did that up until my junior year, like I said. And so now in college, I'm just kind of applying those same skills. My Google Calendar looks like a rainbow. And so I write everything down. There will never be something that is not on my calendar, and then just kind of sticking to that regimen. But I don't like having free time. So I think that's also good. I like being busy and stuff like that.
Okay, so what is your favorite sport to call then?
I've been getting asked this a lot, and it's really hard. Football's really cool, just because I think the magnitude of it is something that's pretty hard to emulate. I probably am enjoying basketball the most right now. I think part of that is with my dad. That's what he does, and so it's really cool to basically do his exact job. And then from a more personal standpoint, I'm really good friends with almost the entire softball team, and so getting to call them is also just very cool because I get to watch my friends do their thing. And then adding kind of a new one to the list, I called gymnastics for the first time this past weekend, and I'm roommates with 3 gymnasts. So also just that kind of emotional pride of getting to do my thing of calling the gymnastics meet while my roommates got to do their thing of doing their sport is really, really cool. But if I had no emotional connection to anyone in the game, probably basketball.
Okay, so what's your best call then? A big three-pointer or a big basketball play, a touchdown, or a home run?
I think probably basketball. I'm working on the 3-point call. I think right now, I'm still early, right? I've only been broadcasting for 2 years. I have a couple tendencies that when a call gets big or excitement gets high, I revert to the same words. So I think I'm almost at my best right now when it is a good play and I can go on and describe it of, left hand up off the glass, finger roll, and I can get into that. I'm still really developing that close game, big energy call. And I'm not afraid to say that, like same with golf, you develop, and broadcasting is definitely developing too. So the big energy calls are a work in progress, but I've got a lot of great teachers around me to help with those.
Okay, so how was the Las Vegas Bowl and getting to call that with your dad, and your mom was there spotting for you, right?
Yep.
What was that experience like?
It was so cool. I mean, kind of the same way that I feel about the winning the stadium. It's the same as that of just, it's a memory that was so huge for me and my family, and it's one we're going to remember for so long. And I mean, my parents are my role models in not just the professional sense, but also just as humans. I think they're the 2 greatest humans on this earth. And so getting to follow in their footsteps and also be the lead of the broadcast, I was play-by-play, my dad was color, was super cool. Like that first time I got to say, welcome back to 90.3 KRNU, I'm Arden Lockheim alongside David Locke. That was one of the coolest sentences I've ever gotten to say. So just it was a storybook, event really, just getting to follow my dad's footsteps and do our thing together with my mom there also they were playing Utah. So a weird connection there of that's the college team I did grow up watching. I was never an avid Utah fan, but if we turned on college football, it was the U. So just so many things came together, and I'm never forgetting that day.
How's your dad as a color analyst?
He was great. He was so nervous. It was so funny. He thinks so highly of all of the kids that I get to broadcast with, and all of the work that we put in, he knows about because he sees it. And so he was nervous. He was like, I need to make sure I hold my own, because obviously he's a play-by-play NBA guy. He is very versed in many sports. He, is the CEO of a podcast network and that covers every league. So he knows, but he was nervous, but I think he did great.
So is it, being that your mom was a reporter, your dad's a play-by-play, do you have something specific you want to do? Do you want to be an analyst? Or is it, hey, I'll figure it out and just want to try out everything right now?
Entering college, I said I wanted to be kind of like a Scott Van Pelt or a Pat McAfee and host a show. The more that I've done play-by-play, the more I like it. And I think part of that maybe was like, I don't want to say I want to do the exact same thing as my dad. But then as I've been doing the exact same thing as my dad, I really like it. So we're still up in the air, but definitely play-by-play or a color host, or a TV show host, because I think those are the 2 that have drawn me the most.
Is it pressure at all, knowing what your dad does, and people are, going to always know that about, hey, this is the daughter coming up?
A little bit, but I don't know. I think my parents have handled it so well that they're really letting me kind of do my own thing and write my own story. And there's always going to be stuff that comes with it of when you are entering the same industry as your parents. But I don't know. I think my parents have done a great job to not really apply any pressure.
Again, Arden Lockheim of Husker Women's Golf, but also you've heard her, I guarantee it, if you've watched Husker or any Husker sports on Big Ten Plus. she is going to be a star in this business whenever she does decide to pursue it full time when golf is over. But she's really, really impressive. I appreciate her time. And again, really appreciate Emeritus, too, for sponsoring all this, the podcast that we do every week and this show as well. Emeritus celebrates Nebraska women's athletics on National Girls and Women in Sports Day and every day. Please visit huskers.com/women's athletics to learn more. Nebraska Women's Athletics, powered by Emeritus. All right, we're back to wrap up the show next.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back. I'm Jessica Coody. Final minute or so left for me. What an incredible show tonight. Thanks to everybody for helping me make this happen here tonight and supporting me and my idea to make this happen. I've done this a couple years now, but Josh Hilkeman, I could not have done it without him. He was helping me record all the interviews and edit them down to fit the show here tonight, so appreciate him. Cassidy Ottoman was a rock star in so many ways, other than just doing the ticker here for us tonight, so appreciate her. And David and Christopher back there putting this on the air here tonight. And, of course, the women that joined me and took the time to chat with me for some lengthy conversations, which, again, did not fit our time window here on Sports Nightly. So all of those conversations are now posted on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel as well, so you can go back and listen to the full conversations out now. So thanks to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This was a fun night. We will not be on the air tomorrow night because we have Husker women's basketball. Big one for the Huskers at number 8, Michigan. 6 o'clock tip. We will have the pregame shows for you starting at 5:30 with Matt Coatney and Jeff Greesh. Kyle and I will be back for a full 2-hour show coming up for you here on Thursday night on Sports Nightly. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.